This is an excellent question, and there's a lot to unpack there. All right, so we'll start with, I'm not a soldier, so we talk about soldiers. I'm a Navy chaplain, which means that I work with sailors and Marines and the Coast Guard, because the Coast Guard also uses Navy chaplains. So the question is, how do we see to the spiritual needs of soldiers who come from a different faith background than ourselves? And in a nutshell, it comes down to one word: accommodation. I don't perform any services. I don't provide for the spiritual needs myself, but I will accommodate for the spiritual needs of sailors and Marines and coasties if they let me know, because I'm not a mind reader. And I've had people complain before saying chaps didn't do so-and-so, but they never told me that they had a need, all right? Chaplains are not mind readers. So if I know that a service member has a need, then I will do everything in my power to help accommodate that need. So in your example, you said Hindu, right? How would we accommodate the spiritual needs of a Hindu service member? The service member would need to come to me and say, chaps, I am Hindu, and this is what I need for my religious practice. And then that's where I jump into action to help accommodate their needs. I don't actually perform any services for them. And usually people from other faith groups will not seek a chaplain for spiritual guidance that is outside of their own particular faith background, right? So I'll have Christians come to me for spiritual guidance. I've never had, for example, a Wiccan come to me for spiritual guidance, or a Buddhist come to me for spiritual guidance. They tend to go to spiritual leaders in their own faith community. So that's where chaplaincy is different than being a minister to everybody. I do the services for my own faith group. I will accommodate and help provide for every other faith group, but I've never had, in my 14 years of experience, I've never had somebody from a different faith group come to me for spiritual guidance. They reserve that usually for their own faith group. And I will plug people into leaders from their own faith group. If they are Muslim, I will find an imam. If they're Jewish, I will find a rabbi. So that's how accommodation works with the Chaplain Corps. That's a great question, and thanks for asking.